Our story begins with Rita, sitting alone and completely absorbed in a horror movie. From the way she laughs, you'd think she's watching a cartoon, not something full of jump scares and chaos. But her laughter isn't because she doesn't feel anything. It's the opposite. It's all the pressure inside her trying to escape. At school, her classmates bully her because they think she's not pretty. They stuff papers in her shoes, leave trash on her desk, and even film her when she's scared or embarrassed just to mock her later. That's why horror movies don't scare her. Nothing on screen is worse than what she lives every day. One night, while searching for something new to watch, she finds Rosita, a beauty and self-love content creator. Rosita talks about accepting yourself, but also taking care of your appearance and bringing out your hidden beauty. And for the first time, Rita truly listens. The first thing she does? She makes herself a face mask to moisturize her skin. The very next day, she doesn't wait. She goes shopping and buys makeup from the same brands Rosita recommended. Like any girl at the beginning, she has no idea how to cover her skin flaws properly. She just copies the videos without really knowing which shades actually suit her. But the sweet thing about her? She keeps trying. She doesn't give up after the first failed attempt. She knows it's normal to get it right one time and mess it up the next. Slowly, she starts falling in love with makeup. What began with just eyeliner and concealer turns into a full collection of everything you can think of. Then she starts experimenting with hairstyles that fit her face. With practice, she even switches from glasses to contact lenses and learns how to style her hair in a way that highlights her beauty. On top of that, she transfers to a new school, leaving the bullies behind. And when she gets ready for her first day there, her parents can't stop staring. They can't believe how beautiful she looks. Her parents almost feel like asking, "Where's the Rita we used to know?" When she arrives at school, all eyes are on her. The students can't help but stare, completely amazed by her beauty. For a moment, it feels like they might crowd around her just to get a better look. When she walks into class, it's the same reaction, pure admiration. But it's not just about how she looks on the outside. There's something different about her energy. She walks in confident, head high, passion in her eyes. That's what you call real beauty. But back home, reality hits. The moment she washes her face, the truth comes back. Rita's skin is still full of acne, uneven and tired. Honestly, instead of spending all that money on makeup, it might have been better to focus on treating her skin. Later, she's sitting with her family and finds out her brother is overwhelmed. Girls keep texting him nonstop, and he doesn't know what to do about one girl who won't leave him alone. Her mom asks how her first day at the new school went. Of course, Rita says it couldn't have gone any better. But her older sister, with a cold tone, mutters, "I just hope no one finds out who you really are." Her dad sweetly tells Rita he loves her just the way she is, even without makeup. Later, she goes out hiding under her hoodie, afraid someone from school might see her barefaced. She stops by her usual horror shop, owned by Zoka, where she buys creepy novels and accessories. He tells her the book she's been waiting for has arrived. She reaches for it, but a guy grabs it first, teasing that he came before her, then walks off. Rita only cares that he saw her without makeup. As she leaves, a charm falls from her bag, and he picks it up. The next day at school, she panics when two girls approach her, thinking they might hurt her. She's shocked when she sees the same guy from the bookstore walk into her classroom. And even bigger surprise, he turns out to be her new classmate named Shawn. He even sits right next to her, which freaks her out because she's afraid he recognized her. Her friends tease her, saying she's lucky to sit beside him. In the bathroom, she reassures herself that no one knows her secret and fixes her makeup. After school, she thinks he left without recognizing her, until he suddenly appears in front of her and returns the charm she dropped. So yes, he knows. Meanwhile, Shira watches them from afar, jealous because she likes Shawn, but he ignores her. Rita begs Shawn not to tell anyone about how she looks without makeup. He simply replies, "We'll see," leaving her confused. Nearby, another guy named Yoon hears everything, without them noticing. Later, during PE class, Rita gives it her all. And because she's moving so much, she starts sweating. She looks in the mirror and realizes her makeup has smudged, and her acne is showing again. Panicked, she covers herself with her jacket and runs to the bathroom, trying to calm down by telling herself everything will be fine once she fixes her makeup. Later, when the monthly results come out, she finds out Shawn ranked first. Yoon shows up looking tense. Clearly, there's bad history between him and Shawn. He teases Shawn about coming first and having a new friend, which hints at their conflict. Rita asks her friends about the tension between them. They explain that the two used to be close friends and even in the same group, until something happened. When she asks about the incident, one of the girls signals the other to stay quiet. Rita notices they don't want to talk about it and stops pushing. That same day, she goes to the horror shop and finds Shawn there. He smirks at her and says, Welcome to the girl who ranked last. Zoka then asks if they know each other. Both deny knowing each other at first, but Zoka notices their reactions and realizes they clearly do. Shawn helps Rita pick a novel and finds out she reads the same authors he likes. They talk and discover their interests match. He also mentions he has multiple copies of her charm with different little stories. Shira secretly watches Rita and even films her without makeup. The next day, Shira hints in the bathroom that she knows Rita's real face and says makeup fades easily. Rita gets nervous, admitting it still smudges even in layers. Shira tells her she doesn't need much makeup, which only makes Rita more anxious. Meanwhile, Yoon's dad, who holds an important position, walks in on him singing and disapproves, though Yoon says he only sings to himself sometimes. Rita decides to depend on herself and work while studying so she doesn't burden her parents. Zoka notices Shawn always sits at the shop waiting for Rita, so he gives him the cafe address since she's busy. Shawn shows up acting normal and asks to meet her later. At night, he explains he came to help her study because work is distracting her. She understands quickly and jokes that he could make her top the class, then apologizes for being too casual. He tells her he'll keep helping her. The next day at work, 2 girls from her old school show up and keep bullying her like before. The girls mock her, saying she changed her skin like a snake, and start filming her again. Rita remembers everything they did to her before. Yoon shows up and the girls panic since he's known for being in a band. He defends Rita, tells them to delete the photos, and warns them it's illegal. They get scared and run away. The next day, Rita thanks him. He says anyone would have done the same. Shawn watches them from afar, clearly jealous. Yoon asks about the girls, and she says they're from her old school. He tells her to handle them better next time. When she insists it won't happen again, he remembers his close friend who was bullied and ended up in prison after taking revenge. Yoon warns her not to ever give up her dignity. Shawn overhears and seems to understand his reaction, just as her friends call her to leave. Shawn apologizes to her friends for her and asks Rita to meet him urgently at the station. At home, she does her makeup perfectly, then goes to meet him, secretly admiring him as he walks toward her. She thinks it's a romantic outing, but he actually trains her on how to defend herself and stay calm in danger. They go into a haunted house, running from zombies and hiding, yet still exchanging glances. Rita laughs through it like it's the happiest moment of her life. She later tells him it was her best day and hopes to repeat it. When he goes to buy drinks, he gets an urgent call and leaves, only sending her a message instead of apologizing in person. Later, she's at work, still thinking about everything. Rita feels confused, blaming herself for why Shawn suddenly left. At work, her coworker Rin tells her she wants to play Juliet in a school play, but thinks she's not pretty enough. Rita offers to do her makeup. On her day off, she visits Rin's luxurious house and teaches her how to highlight her features. The result shocks Rin and makes her love herself more. After using the bathroom, Rita gets lost since the doors look alike and suddenly runs into Yoon. They're both surprised. When he hears his father calling, he hides with her in his closet. Afterward, he apologizes and explains Rin is his sister, telling her not to be surprised by their wealth and that his sister is independent. But when she notices a photo of him with Shawn and Khalid in the same band, he quickly pulls it away. He tells her not to touch the photo again. Then he takes the chance to bring her along to help him choose a birthday gift for his sister. The next day at school, Rita and Yoon talk casually, and Shawn watches them, clearly bothered by how close they seem. Shira tries to take advantage of that, telling Shawn to forget Rita, because it looks like Yoon is on her mind now. But Shawn shuts her down and walks away. Later, Rita notices Yoon walking toward her while she's not wearing makeup. He doesn't recognize her and simply passes by. The moment relieves her, yet it also hurts that she looks that different without makeup. That same day at the shop, Shawn shows up but seems ready to leave, still embarrassed about walking out on her before. Rita stops him and opens up about the bullying she faced at her old school, telling him everything they put her through. You can see she softens his heart. Shawn tells her the problem was never her. It was them, sick people projecting their issues. He promises he'll stay by her side and won't leave her again. The next day, Yoon looks upset after overhearing 2 girls calling Shawn and Rita the perfect duo. While he's sitting alone, Rita excitedly tells him Rin won the role of Juliet. He says the credit goes to her, since her makeup helped Rin fit the role. But when Rita keeps mentioning Shawn, Yoon warns her to forget him and think about someone else, meaning himself. Meanwhile, Shira spies on them, jealous that the 2 most handsome guys seem interested in Rita, not her. She later approaches Yoon, suggesting they both want the same thing, to keep Rita away from Shawn. Yoon shuts her down, saying he's not interested in her childish games. At the school festival, with other schools participating, Rita stands out as the prettiest girl there. Even Yoon is more drawn to her. On the other side, Shira stands with the two former bullies, telling them their mission is to expose Rita's real face to everyone, to prove she's fake. After the students change their outfits, they see Shawn walking with Rita, and finally believe the rumors. They must be together. Honestly, no one objects. They actually think they suit each other. Rita even asks Shawn to take a photo together as a memory. A classmate then hands them a flyer for the outdoor part of the festival. From afar, Yoon watches them and burns with jealousy. Meanwhile, Shira stands with the guy who gave Shawn the flyer and tells him to signal the others to do what they planned, meaning the two former bullies. Suddenly, all the water taps in the yard are turned on, flooding the place. Because Rita is standing in a corner the guy directed her to, the water hits her face directly. Her makeup washes off completely. Her acne shows. Shira quickly takes out her phone, filming her while she and the bullies laugh cruelly, enjoying the humiliation. But Shawn doesn't hesitate. He rushes to Rita, covers her with his suit jacket, and shields her from everyone's eyes. Yoon steps in too. To distract everyone, he grabs his guitar and starts singing, even though he hasn't performed in a long time. Shawn looks at him and remembers when their band used to be 3 members, singing with real passion. Without wasting time, Shawn takes Rita and runs off with her. He stays by her side until she calms down, apologizes, then leaves because of an urgent phone call. She thanks him and assures him she'll be okay. After he leaves, Rita thinks about all the moments they shared, the ones that made her realize she has feelings for him. We then find out Shawn rushed off because his mother's condition suddenly worsened, which also explains why he left her that night at the restaurant. Later, while Rita is walking with Yoon, she asks why he suddenly sang that day. He remembers seeing her hiding behind Shawn, scared and cornered, and felt he had to act. But he doesn't tell her that. He simply says he missed singing and being on stage. In that moment, she takes the chance to respond to what he once told her, about liking him instead of Shawn. She starts apologizing to him, but he interrupts and tells her that no matter what choice she makes, he'll always love her, and asks her to remember that. Yoon then explains Shawn's situation. His parents separated long ago, and recently his mother suffered a stroke. Since then, Shawn became more withdrawn and left the band. He also takes care of his mom whenever the nurse is off. Rita realizes he's been isolating himself because he doesn't want to waste time away from his mother. Yoon admits Shawn blames himself for not knowing about her condition sooner. Rita is deeply affected by everything she hears. She rushes to Shawn's house. He's surprised to see her. She feels embarrassed at first and apologizes, ready to leave, but he calls her back and asks her to meet his mother. When she enters, she sees his mother's poor condition. Rita tries to cheer her up by doing her nails and grooming her hands. Shawn tells her that even though his mom was busy before she got sick, she always loved doing her nails every day as a habit. Because mental state matters for any patient, Shawn's mom surprises them by slowly lifting her hand to look at the manicure. Shawn is shocked. Her body is almost fully paralyzed, yet she looks at Rita and smiles. Later, Shawn talks to Rita and admits he was worried she might distance herself because of his mom. She immediately reassures him she would never do that and tells him he deserves good things. He tells her he contacted his father and decided to move to America with his mom, since doctors say she doesn't have much time left. Rita doesn't like the idea of him leaving, but she supports his decision and wishes him happiness. When he's gone from school preparing for the trip, Rita feels lonely everywhere, at home and at school. She chooses to study beauty and makeup in college, something she truly loves. Her friends congratulate her on picking her passion. While she misses Shawn and looks at their photos together, he suddenly calls her. They meet at Zoka's shop, and she tells him that seeing his mom smile after the manicure inspired her to specialize more in makeup and beauty. She also admits that ever since he started protecting her and standing by her, she has wanted to get closer to him. He confesses that he only started feeling positive again after talking to her and getting close to her. He asks her to always keep smiling, no matter what happens. In the end, she gives him her charm as a memory to keep between them. After 3 years, Yoon returns to singing, but this time alone, not in a band. He becomes a huge success, and his fan base grows even bigger than before. Rita always attends his concerts to support him. After one of his shows, he takes her and leaves quickly because the place is full of reporters and fans. To escape the crowd, he casually tells everyone he's in a relationship, and even points at Rita, claiming she's his girlfriend. Later, at college, everyone looks at her as Yoon's famous girlfriend. While they're together, she tells him about a guy at school who keeps bothering and chasing her. Yoon advises her to just tell the guy she's taken. She looks at him like he's solving one problem by creating a bigger one. She tells him that won't work because he's a rock star and it would only create more rumors. At a group gathering later, the same annoying guy shows up. Rita clearly feels uncomfortable. Her classmates pressure her to drink, but she politely refuses since she's not used to it. And the guy keeps watching her closely. After the event ends, Yoon takes the chance to thank her for being there, especially since her friends pressured her to drink. Her friends didn't notice the creepy guy pulling her away, but once they see him, they scream because they know his intentions aren't good. He tries to drag her to a quiet place, but she resists and begs him to leave her alone. Suddenly, Yoon shows up and warns him to stay away from her. While Yoon walks with Rita, all the girls stare at them in admiration. He's famous, and he's walking with his girlfriend. That only makes the creepy guy even more jealous and angry. Yoon tells her not to drink again when she's not fully aware, and she replies that it was just 1 cup. She asks why he came at that moment. He says his friends told him they saw her with the guy, so he came right away. Then he uses the moment to confess that he still loves her, and his feelings haven't changed. And he points out that the reason they were apart before isn't there anymore. When Rita gets home, she looks at her photo with Shawn because she misses him. Feeling upset, she goes to Zoka and tells him that college isn't as easy as she thought. He tries to cheer her up and tells her she has 2 surprises. The first is that the novel she was waiting for has finally been released. The second surprise is Shawn standing right in front of her. When he sits with her, he explains that he hasn't changed. He also tells her his mom passed away 6 months ago, but she was happy because their family stayed close and she improved while getting treatment abroad. He says the doctors there inspired him to study medicine, so he decided to return and study it in Japan. He shows her his university card, and she's happy because he'll be studying at the same university as her. She's even more surprised that he still keeps her charm. The next day, she tells her friends that Shawn is back and studying medicine. They mention that Shira would probably be happy to hear that. They explain that Shira is now successful. She became a fashion company owner with many followers and even left college to grow her brand. The good thing about Rita is that when she sees Shira's success, she doesn't feel jealous. Instead, she's genuinely happy for her. We cut to Shawn and Yoon, who meet up about Korean in prison. They talk to him, trying to calm him down and let him know the song he wrote was a big hit. He says he was confident it would be. After all, not just anyone could compose it. Meanwhile, an unknown person is secretly filming Rita while she's with her family, zooming in to show the difference between her wearing makeup and without it. Back with Yoon, his manager advises him not to meet Rita again, warning that it could hurt his fame and upset his fans. While he's with Rita, she notices the manager giving him a strict look and reminding him he's supposed to be on stage. She glances at him from head to toe and gives a sly smile. At home, Rita watches Rosita carefully, focusing on her way of speaking, because she's planning to make videos teaching makeup to girls. Feeling a bit confused, she talks with her sisters, who reassure her. Her sisters tell her that after graduation, jobs won't just wait for her. She's wrong to rely on that. They advise her to focus on developing what she loves, which is makeup. The next day, she motivates herself and starts filming makeup tutorial videos, even practicing on her sister. Her first video gets only a few comments, and most of them aren't even positive. The second video performs a little better, with mixed reactions. Some people like the idea, others still criticize it, but she keeps going. With consistency and patience, her views grow. Her comments turn more positive, and her friends celebrate her when she finally hits 100,000 views. One day at university, there's a photo shoot happening. She notices a famous action actor, and is shocked when he walks up to her and asks, "You're Rita, right?" The surprise gets bigger when she realizes he's Shawn's father. He had kept that hidden out of respect for privacy. Accidentally, he mentions he recognized her from the photo Shawn keeps in his room. Rita feels happy hearing that, especially because she also thinks about Shawn. The father then explains that the shoot is delayed because the makeup artist had an issue, and they're looking for a replacement. Shawn suggests that Rita be the one to do the makeup for the shoot. She's shocked and nervous, unsure where to start and clearly overwhelmed. In her panic, she rushes to prepare and accidentally bumps into a piece of filming equipment. The main actress gets upset and asks who allowed her to enter the set. After everything settles, Rita walks with Shawn and thanks him for giving her the chance. It made her realize her skills. She decides to study makeup more seriously and specialize in it. That same day, she visits Zoka, while someone secretly watches and films her again. Later, Rita goes on a trip with Shawn, Yoon, and their friends. Shawn and Yoon compete playfully, trying to show who's nicer or closer to her, but they exchange competitive looks. Afterward, Yoon talks to her privately and asks her about something important, about her feelings toward Shawn. When she can't answer, Yoon tells her to choose him instead, saying at least he won't disappear like Shawn sometimes does. That night, before sleeping, she has to wash off all the makeup from her face. She suddenly remembers she's not at home and panics at the thought someone might see her barefaced. She gets nervous, tries to sneak to the bathroom, but accidentally knocks over some bottles, making noise. The others hear it and come out to check. She has no choice but to open the nearest door to hide. And luckily, it's Shawn's room. He lets her hide there and covers for her. He goes out and tells everyone he was coming from the bathroom and accidentally knocked the bottles over. After things calm down, he brings her inside and reassures her that everything is fine. She feels embarrassed and tells him she loves her friends but is afraid they'll be disappointed if they see her real face. Shawn gently tells her that a simple smile is enough, and they'll believe in her no matter what. The next day, they visit a place she's always wanted to see. As they enter, they suddenly hear a voice telling them to go right, which scares them and even startles Yoon. And it turns out the voice belongs to him. The one talking was Yoon. And it turns out he was secretly watching them so they wouldn't get a chance to be alone without him noticing. The three of them stand near a beautiful waterfall. Yoon reminds Shawn that the last time they were there, Kdrama was with them. Rita keeps hearing Kdrama's name and gets curious about his story. Yoon explains that Kdrama was bullied by classmates until they pushed him too far, and he ended up hitting one of them. Shawn admits he feels guilty because he didn't defend his friend at the time. He was too distracted by his mom suddenly getting sick and his own struggles. Rita then opens up and tells them she was bullied too, and the only reason it stopped was because she transferred schools. Because of her honesty, Shawn and Yoon start joking and talking to each other again, like they were before. It feels like they were just waiting for a reason to reconnect. Rita smiles seeing that, and says she hopes the three of them can always stay friends. Later, when they return, Yoon is shocked by news about his father. He's being investigated for tax evasion. Shawn and Rita want to help him but don't know how. Rita refuses to just leave him alone with the problem, so she goes to his house, only to find reporters waiting outside, ready to catch anyone who comes out. Yoon pulls her quickly and sneaks her into the house through the back entrance. She thinks he's upset about his father's case, but he tells her it's actually good that his father will be busy with something else, so he can focus on writing his songs freely. He then asks her to stay by his side and not leave him. Rin later comes with bad news. Someone leaked photos of Rita without makeup. The post spreads fast. People call her a fraud, and her subscribers start unfollowing her. From that day on, Rita falls into deep depression. She barely eats and isolates herself in her room. Yoon meets Shawn and shows him the leaked photo, asking if he knew about it before. Shawn tells him that if he truly loves her, he should protect her, not question her. Yoon gets angry, feeling like Shawn is challenging him. Rita finally decides to sit with her family and try to eat something. She's surprised when Shawn and Yoon visit her. When they talk, she tells Yoon he has every right to be shocked, but at least now he knows the truth. She then says she's decided to become a nun and live alone away from everything. They talk to her and convince her not to give up on her dream. She should go back to college like normal, and they'll handle everything else. To cheer her up, they watch a horror movie together, and Yoon ends up being the scared one. The next day, Shawn and Yoon start searching for the person who leaked her photos. They ask Zoka if he noticed anything unusual outside his shop. He tells them he saw someone wearing a black hat and coat who only shows up when Rita is there. But he didn't think much of it and assumed it was a coincidence. Rita sits with her friends feeling broken and guilty for hiding the truth from them. Surprisingly, they act silly and supportive, telling her she's amazing and asking her to teach them how to enhance their features like she does. One day, Yoon leaves Zoka's shop with someone wearing a hoodie covering her face. They notice someone following them, and when they stop, the person behind them stops too. It turns out the girl walking with Yoon isn't Rita. It's just a friend of his. They set a trap for the person who is spying on Rita, and he tries to run, but they chase him until they discover the truth. It turns out Yoon's manager is behind everything, and she didn't act alone. Shawn shows up with the same creepy guy who used to force Rita to like him. Rita is confused and doesn't understand why they would do something like this to her. Everyone gathers at Zoka's shop, and Yoon brings Shira too. They sit them all down face to face and demand an explanation. Yoon's manager pretends she cares about him and tells him to leave because he has a concert. Then she admits she didn't like seeing Rita around Yoon, so she searched for information about her old school, followed her home, and managed to film her without makeup, with help from the creepy guy. Shira apologizes for how she treated Rita back in school and for embarrassing her in front of everyone. She explains that Yoon's manager contacted her and tried to send her the photos, but she refused because she regretted hurting Rita before. The manager says she got the photos from Shira's old classmates instead. Rita tells Shira she's decided to let go of the past and forgive herself. She wants to move forward peacefully. Right then, Shira gets a call from her company and looks upset. When Shira goes to her office, Rita goes with her. they discover that the model has an allergy to a certain beauty product and forgot to inform the makeup artist, which caused a reaction on her face. Because of that, the photo shoot gets canceled and Shira risks delaying her new collection. But Rita steps in and does the model's makeup herself, successfully covering all the blemishes. The model is happy, and Shira can't believe Rita actually helped her. Later, Shawn's father calls Rita and asks to meet urgently. He tells her he has an important job opportunity for her. She goes to the shoot location nervous and unsure what's waiting for her, and finds out the person who wants her to work with her is the same actress she worked with before. The actress says she heard about what Rita did behind the scenes during Shira's shoot, so she chose her to be her makeup artist. Rita feels proud and happy, like no one can compete with her now. That same day, she finally decides to accept herself the way she is and make peace with who she truly is. She decides to record a makeup tutorial for girls and appears on camera completely barefaced without hiding anything. Shawn and their friends watch the video proudly, and Yoon realizes how strong she is. The comments on the video are mostly positive, and even Shira is genuinely happy for her and wishes her the best from her heart. One day, Yoon performs at a concert and publicly greets Rita and Shawn in front of the audience, describing them as the source of his strength. Later, Rita finally confesses her feelings to Shawn and tells him she loves him. He tells her she's the most important person in his life and admits he feels the same way. Time passes. Rita becomes a successful beauty expert. Yoon grows into an even bigger famous singer, and Shawn fulfills his dream of becoming a doctor. Eventually, Shawn proposes to Rita, and she happily says yes. And that's how our story comes to an end. Goodbye.